Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Anna and I am your science teacher. This is my second video. The first was about the first lesson, am I alive or not? Today we'll do lesson 2 and the name of the lesson is ourselves. Open your books on page 5, ourselves. I'll tell you a little about the chapter first and then I will read it so that you know what you're reading about. This chapter is about ourselves. What are we? We are living things, we have a body, and then they tell you about each body part. What are they saying in this chapter is that everybody has a body which acts like a machine, and we have different body parts. While working, every part of our body is used for a certain purpose. For example, if we have our hands, we use our hands to pick up stuff, to hold stuff. Our eyes, we use our eyes to look at everything around us. If you don't have your eyes, you will not be able to see anything around. If you don't have your legs, how will you walk? So legs are what is the use of your legs? They're used for running, walking, for moving from one place to another. Our ears, we hear with our ears any sound around you. If you don't have ears, how will you know where the sound is coming from? How will you know if you're crossing the road and a car is coming? If you cannot hear, how will you know when to cross the road? So every part of our body is has a specific use. Okay, and we have 5 senses. We will read about 5 senses. Sense of sight. What is sense of sight? Sense of sight is that you can see with your eyes. That is the sense of sight. You have the sense to look at something, and that is with your eyes. Sense of hearing, with your ears you can hear. That is sense of hearing. With your tongue you taste. When you put something, any food stuff on your tongue, you can taste it. You know if it's salty, it's sweet, whatever the taste is. So that is the sense of taste. Sense of touch. What do we touch the things with? We touch it with our hands, with our feet, but actually it is the skin. Sense of touch, the skin gives you the sense of touch. When you touch something, it is hot or it is cold, how will you know? Your skin, you know it because of your skin. If it's any part of your body, your arms, your head, wherever you touch it with something, you know when you put your hand on the heater and if it's hot, automatically you take it off, because when you touch your skin with it, you get to know whether it is hot or it is cold. So we have 5 senses: sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of sight, sense of hearing, and sense of smell. I give you an idea about the chapter. Now I will read it, and when I read the chapter, I want you to open your books on page 5 and put your finger on every word that I am reading, so that you know which word sounds like what. So the name of the lesson is Ourselves. Lesson 2, Ourselves, page 5. First line. We are living things. In the first lesson, I told you what living things are. So by now you should know the definition of living things. We have a body. Every living thing has a body. Our body has many parts. I told you about the parts like your eyes, nose, head, hair, arms, legs. Each part of our body has a name. Every part of our body has a name, and we should be thankful to Allah who gave us a healthy body. Now we will go to page 6. Our body is like a machine. Each part of our body has a use. Do we know the use of each part? This. If you look at this, they're telling you, see, this girl is reading a book. When she's reading a book, she's holding it with her hands and looking at it with her eyes and reading it with her mouth. So she's using 3 body parts. Here, a boy is playing with the ball using his hands, his legs. He holds the ball and he's using his eyes. Like that's how he looks at the ball. When you're drinking water, You use your hands, you hold the glass. When you drink it, your tongue tells you whether it is salty, whether it is water, it is juice, whatever it is. While exercise, every part of the body is being used. Here, the girl is painting. When she is painting, she has to use, she uses her eyes, her hands, her sense of colors and everything. Now, so now we will read page 7, and page 7 has all about the senses that I told you. We have 5 senses and it tells you everything about that. What do we do with every sense? Now I will start reading. The first line says, we can see, hear, touch, taste and smell. And how do we do that? We see things with our eyes, we hear things with our ears. I will show it to you here. These are eyes. We see things with our eyes, that's what they say. And this sense is called the sense of sight. Next line says, we hear things with our ears. These are ears, we hear things with our ears, and that is the sense of hearing. Next line says, we touch things with our skin. We have skin all over our body. Any part of your body, you touch it with something, you know whether it is hot, whether it is cold or wet or dry. So we touch things with our skin, and that is called the sense of touch. First sense is sense of sight. You see that, for that we see things with our eyes, that is the sense of sight. Next is sense of hearing. You hear with your ears, it's called a sense of hearing. Third one is the sense of touch. Till now we have done 3. Now I'll come to number 4. We taste things with our tongue. How do we taste things? With our tongue. See, this is the mouth, and inside it we have our tongue. Our tongue, the tongue tells you whether something is hot, cold, salty, sweet, whatever the taste is. Next is we smell things with our nose. That is called a sense of hearing. We smell things with our nose, whether something smells bad, something is burnt. How do we know? With our nose we can smell it. So that is the sense of smell. These are our senses, 5 senses: sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of touch, sense of taste and sense of sight. So these are the 5 senses. This is the whole chapter. We did the reading of the chapter. Read the chapter, and when you try to understand it, this video will help you a little to understand the chapter. The main important points in this chapter are the 5 senses. You should be able to know and recognize which senses you have and which body part is referred to that sense. I've written some difficult words for you. These are the difficult words. After reading the chapter, try to read these words. If you can read it, you are able to read them, then try to learn the spellings of one word every day. Don't do all 8 in one day. I always tell you to do one word at a time. Learn the spelling of nose one day, the spelling of smell another day. So try to learn one spelling every day, one spelling of science, one spelling of social studies. That is how your vocabulary will be improved, and you'll be able to write the answers. Now in the exercise I have given you 2 questions, question 1 and question 2. The first question says, how many senses do we have? The answer that I have written is, we have 5 senses. It depends upon you if you want to write only this answer or you want to write all the 5 senses the way you want it. I just gave you an idea of how to do it, but do it in the summer vacation task copies. Do not use your classwork or your homework copies. Then it's question 2. Question 2 says, name any 5 body parts. I have written 5 body parts for you, but it's your choice. You can write any body parts, any parts that you can spell and that are easy for you. So this was all about the chapter, and I hope you understand it. Try to do the questions in the summer vacation task copies as well, and that is all. Thank you.